If you got $1 billion like Warren Buffett, it's not taxed. We tax your wages, we tax the income of wealth, but we don't tax wealth. So if I have $1 million and I go buy a house, I don't pay any taxes. But if there's a retail sales tax, I take my $1 million and I go spend it, I pay a tax. Now isn't that interesting? For the first time in our history, wealth is going to be taxed. And that's what economists call proportionality. Now, isn't that going to change things in our society? Now, what does the IRS estimate? What do we estimate that complying with the tax code, the private sector, I'm not talking about the IRS cost, that's a pittance. What does it cost for the private sector of the United States of America to comply with the tax code? $270 billion a year. That's about half what we spent in Iraq in the last 4 years. Okay, half every year. Now, the IRS estimates that they don't tax ladies of the night, gamblers, mafia. All these people don't pay taxes. How much money do you think we're losing? 500 billion? Who knows? You just don't know. 500 billion taxes. Why do you think that American business enterprise, the leaders, are retarded? Well, if they're so smart, why don't they invest in my campaign? I'm the only Democrat talking about not taxing corporations. You'd think they'd be breaking a leg to give me money. They don't give me any money. Why? Maybe they know something that you don't know. Maybe they know as individuals they're going to pay more taxes than they're presently paying with their $50, $100 million golden parachutes and their stock options. Maybe they know something you don't know. Reason aloud. This is why I make this statement. Until we straighten out our tax structure, we will never solve our domestic problems. Now, we solved the military-industrial complex. That's our foreign policy solution. But our domestic problems require a new system of revenue. Okay, any other?
Go ahead.
You can keep talking. There's going to be the Philip DeFranco show wants to ask you.
There what?
The Philip DeFranco show wants to ask you questions.
Phil DeFranco?
Yeah, he's a YouTube sensation. Probably one of the biggest people on YouTube.
And he's going to ask me questions right now, and it's going to be video streamed?
No, I'm going to record them for you.
Well, but how will I know his questions?
I'm going to read them to you.
You got to read them to me.
Yeah, you can keep them within a minute.
Does he know he's doing this to me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. His name is what?
Philip DeFranco.
Philip DeFranco. Hi, how are you? I hope you're healthy. And I'm delighted to answer your questions, Philip. And so Casey here is going to read me your questions, and I'll try to respond to them. And Philip, if you're a big YouTube czar, please help me become visible, because what's happening is in all the blind polls around the country, when people make a decision as to what are the issues that they're for, I come out on top. And so all we got to do is get my name associated with what Americans believe in, and I become President of the United States. Now, I don't know how to do that.
Well,
Truthfully,
there's one
I
way
don't.
you can do it, Senator, and that is for the people to donate money to your campaign to keep you going.
Now, Mindy is right. There is one way to help. We have 3 people on our staff. That's it. And they get paid very modestly. And so if you want my voice to increase, and I need to raise money. And so now, since you don't have to donate any more money to Edwards or to Kucinich, and Ron Paul's going to be leaving the scene pretty shortly, so you don't need to raise any money for him. And maybe Obama's going to leave the scene. And so all these people, you don't have to give them any more money. Please, start giving that money to me, and I will engage whoever's left into a real debate. You have not heard a real debate. And the first question I will ask any one of these people, why are we spending more money than all the rest of the world on a defense when you can't point to any national country that is an enemy of ours? That's the first question I would ask anybody in the debate, including John McCain. Go ahead. Now, Philip, has got a question yet?
First question is, just give me 1 second.
I'll give you 1 second.
Alright. It's going to be the video camera. It's just as good, but a little smaller. What is net neutrality, and is it good or bad, and why is it good or bad?
Net neutrality, it's good, and what it means, at least in my, first off, you got to keep in mind, Casey is the guy that was setting it up and didn't get it set up so that we could, but he's done a great job thus far. And so I'm techie. I have both an iPod, a PC, and what's this one?
Apple.
I have an Apple PC and iPod, and I'm challenged by them all. So, but the problem, as I understand it, is several of large corporations are trying to get their hands on the gateway to the internet and charge for access. I am opposed to that. I'm opposed to the government getting its hands on the internet. And so when you talk of net neutrality, my interpretation of that, and I don't know as I think that that's the best terminology for it, but that's the terminology that you people have developed for it. But here's my terminology, is government and business, get your damn hands off the internet, make it free so people have access to it. It's the last area that we have of freedom, and my God, we've got to fight to keep it so that we have at least a communication system that's not controlled by corporate America. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes.
What's the next one?
Did I choose to live in a communist regime or a Hillary presidency? Which one would you choose?
Oh, God. That's an unfair question. That truly is. First off, a communist regime doesn't work. It imploded. It's usually a tyranny. The only communist regime that I know of is in a monastery, you know, where everybody eats the same loaf of bread and wears the same robes, and you got one czar who's the head monk. That's the only communist regime that I know of. Hillary is going to be business as usual, but of a little worse nature, because Bill Clinton, you know, he had sold out to the military-industrial complex, and he's really sharpened and has really made a lot of money off of corporate America. You know, they started out very modestly in public life, and they now have a net worth of $50 million. They're going to increase that net worth. They've really hijacked the Democratic Party and the DLC and brought it to Wall Street. And so you're going to see more of the same. He's trying to push me out. Okay, go ahead.
Do you support marijuana use in the U.S.?
Do I support marijuana use?
Yes.
First off, it doesn't do anything for me, so I can't say I support it. I support the decriminalization of it. We arrested 800,000 people over marijuana last year. That's terrible. Marijuana, all the studies show, it's not addictive, it's not a gateway drug, it's not nearly as bad as alcohol. So if we can control alcohol and make it available to people, why shouldn't we do that for marijuana? So if you want to get some marijuana, go to a liquor store and buy some. That's the approach I would take. Now, with respect to hard drugs, if you have a coke problem or whatever, go to a doctor, get a prescription, go get it filled at a drugstore. Decriminalize the whole process. Right now, the war on drugs does nothing more than savage our inner cities and destabilize foreign governments and blow and piss away $50 to $100 billion a year. That's what we're doing, and we're damaging our people. We're putting more people in jail than any place else on earth, and that needs to stop. And the best way to do that is to take the criminality. We're all druggies at one level or another. And what we need to do is recognize that the addiction problem is a public health problem. It's not a criminal problem.
Right.
Next question.
3 words to describe yourself, George Bush, and Bill Clinton.
3 words. Well, one is insane, the other is sold out, and one is an elderly, mature person who, if you